Tonight, fresh chaos erupts in Parliament. This time is the Bank of Ghana governor and whether he should face MPs in public or behind closed doors.
They are not interested in the question and the answers to the question. They are interested in the media optics. Saying that the governor has come, ask him your questions. Say no, unless the journalists are saying that you will not ask him a question.
Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga slams the minority, saying they want media optics, not answers. We're live in Parliament, where the minority had earlier walked out of the chamber, accusing First Deputy Speaker Bernard Ahiafor of attack, intimidation, and frustrating their efforts to scrutinize government. Top story is brought to you by Telecel, Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi, when we return from the break, we will take you to Parliament and interrogate the issues.
There are many reasons to connect, and it's all to put smiles on the faces of those you love.
Daddy, thanks for the tea cash, okay? I love you.
That's my daughter Angela. Caring for my parents, that's my duty. I also get to pay my utility bills easily with Telecel Cash. And to the suppliers at my shop,
hello sir, Telecel Cash payment received right on time. Thank you.
I get to make them smile because I can pay to my suppliers' merchant numbers, even on other networks directly. My dear ones, we keep the connection stronger when our family, friends, and business relations are happy. Live on cash, enjoy convenience, and make those who matter smile when you send them money with Telecel Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks, and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery, and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
Mula Sports. See the all sharp, no long thing. MulaSports.com.gh. Instant win, instant cash out. MulaSports.com.gh. Mula Sports, we dey run the city. Play, win, cash out. Yes, play and stand a chance to win Mula at MulaSports.com.gh. Enjoy premium soccer action, exciting trips on the Aviator plane, and exciting spins on all your favorite virtual games. Mula Sports. More Mula. Bet responsibly. Gambling can be addictive. Not for persons under 18. This advertisement is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Missed passes, bad referee decisions.
Don't let your child's grade suffer a bad match. Ensure a straight win this academic season with curriculum-aligned textbooks and interactive tools from Pegasus Publishing.
From preschool to senior high school, we have the exact game plan your kids need to ace their classes. And because it's World Cup season, you get a massive 20% off every single book. Don't drop points. Call 059-50-10175 or dash to Pegasus Publishing in Accra, Newtown, right opposite the Total Energy Station. Free delivery within Accra when you call. Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning future.
Syntax Tango! Syntax, hey, tough, hey, strong. If you want quality, this be where you belong. Syntax, hey, tough, hey, strong. Oh, gonna shout, sing the song. Strong was anything.
Makes no break when the rain they fall. Still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Welcome to the program. Majority in Parliament is pushing back hard after the minority kicked against plans to hear the Bank of Ghana governor in a closed-door session. Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga insists Parliament's convention has always been to hear independent constitutional bodies like the BoG at the Committee of the Whole and not in open plenary. Questions filed by the MP for Ofuasi Ayiribi and ranking member on Parliament Economy and Development Committee Kojo Opon Nkrumah sought to find information on the source of the foreign exchange used for the bank's interventions in the forex market, the framework guiding those interventions, and the total amount of forex injected into the market since last year. However, the House reconstituted into a committee of a whole to hear response of the governor behind closed doors. And let's go in the House of Chamber and speak to our resident correspondent James Aveji, who was there when all this unfolded. James, what more were the concerns of the minority on this?
Well, Ken, the concerns of the minority goes beyond just the decision to, close Parliament closing its door to the public in hearing the governor. They said that they had wanted to demand some more answers from the governor on a number of issues that have been happening in the last few, especially this year. For instance, on the domestic gold purchase program, which the governor in that published response says is what the revenue from that is what they are using to, stabilize the CD. They intend to know how much more money they intend to mobilize from that in order to sustain the CD from where it is now, from dipping any further, because this calls for public accountability as the BoG is trying to do this. Other issues also include questions about the losses the BoG reported, which the majority pushed back, saying that these are operational costs. You should recall that the latest report indicates that the losses of the BoG increased from some 9.49 billion to about 15.63 billion, which became a matter of contention between the two sides. They wanted to demand some more answers from that as well. Now, if you come to the country's, current reserve, the minority is revealing that it has declined from 14 billion in the first quarter to about 12 billion Ghana cedis in the second quarter. They want to know what happened to the 2 billion Ghana cedi decline and what the money has been used for. If, for instance, it is some of those that are used to cushion the CD, the BoG must come clear on all of those. And so the minority believes that it is a deliberate decision to shield the BoG from public view in answering these questions, because this, they believe, may go against the majority or the government, especially when they tout the economic works that are leading to the betterment of the economy, as they always tout in the last few months in government. And so that's their contention against the decision to see the governor behind closed doors. Ken.
You have been outside the chamber because, as you have observed, the majority caucus has requested that you should be exited from the chamber as we're having this committee, or as we're about to have this committee of the whole meeting. The reason is that they are of the view that the matters that we are about to ask the governor and the answers which he has already submitted to Parliament, you should not be allowed to cover it. And that is why you have been asked to step out. And for the last close to about an hour, the minority leader has been on his feet, urging on the majority side to allow the media in so that these questions and the answers that the governor has already submitted, you can cover for the people of Ghana to follow. I have here a copy of the answers submitted by the central bank, this is what they don't want you to cover. Now, let me give you a bit of a background. In 2025, you will recall that we raised here on this floor that there were questions about how the sovereign reserves of the Republic of Ghana were being managed in an attempt to bring the currency to a particular exchange rate. And there were denials from the central bank. The year having been over, we then filed questions, 3 questions, just 3 questions. The first question is to ask the governor the source of the forex that is being used for the foreign exchange market intervention that is being done to bring the currency to where it is. Where are they getting the forex from? The second question is to ask the governor what framework the foreign exchange market intervention is currently using. And the third question is to ask the governor how much has been injected. You recall us talking about they pumping a lot of our reserves into the market in an attempt to achieve a particular exchange rate. Now, in recent weeks, we have found more developments at the central bank in the exercise of monetary policy, reserve management, and the growing losses at the bank. Why does this matter to us? Because at the end of the day, you, the people of Ghana, will pay.
That is the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee in Parliament, Kojo Nkrumah. James Aveji is still with me on the line. James, what was the response of the majority?
Well, Ken, right after this briefing, the majority also walked in, and the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga's response is based on 2 things. One, the orders of the House, and he says that per Order 266 of the House, the House is entitled to constitute itself into a committee of a whole to listen to anyone who is invited to the House. But even on the second basis, that per convention, the House has agreed that every independent constitutional entity that will be heard on the floor of the House must be heard by a committee of a whole. Reason why the committee bodies like the Electoral Commission and others, when they come to the floor of the House, are heard behind camera. And so there was no wrongdoing in deciding to hear the BoG governor behind closed doors.
And you know that when the administrator of Common Fund comes, have we allowed you to ever cover it? I'm asking you, journalists, do you cover the Common Fund administrator? Do you cover the NHRA boss? All those, and even most of the time, unless we meet and decide, when the Electoral Commissioner comes here, you don't cover the Electoral Commissioner. So the central bank governor came to answer questions posed by Kojo Nkrumah, and we said that let's do what we do for all other independent constitutional bodies, which is let us sit without the media, because that's what we do for everybody. And they said, no. The media must be in. We said no. Our practice has always been that for these independent constitutional bodies, we don't hear them at plenary, and we don't do it before the cameras. And they said we have set a precedent by inviting the media to participate. The last time we invited the governor to answer questions regarding the cost of the office building of the Bank of Ghana.
So that there is the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga. James, the chairman of the Finance Committee, also had a response. What did he really say?
Well, Ken, he decided to delve into political issues on this. He believes that the minority leader is simply not interested in the substance of the questions that are raised, but only interested in making what he calls sound bites for TikTok's sake.
As a penchant for not dealing with the substantive matters on the floor and going on a tangent just to produce sound bites. And those sound bites, we see them on TikTok. And people who are listening and watching on TikTok, they don't even understand the circumstances under which those comments were made and whether they were ruled out or not. So if you open the gate for media to be there, Afenyo will not be addressing the issues we are discussing today with the governor. He will get up and speak about every subject under the sun. And that is what you people will capture, and that will appear to be the conversation that have happened. It is the reason he must be controlled. If he's not willing to play by the rules and stick to the matters that we are discussing, we will not allow him to stray into other extraneous matters. And all they did was that they knew the questions they have asked would provide no drama. And what they want is drama. And the drama is provided when he stands on his feet. He will leave the questions and will be talking about 24-hour economy. He will go and talk about Takukon Kitinkiti and go and talk about tractors, all manner of things that we are not discussing at that moment. We are not going to allow him to bring you there, sidestep why we are called the governor, and then decide to dictate what should be reported. So if he wants the truth, he should come. We will allow him. But we are not going to allow for soundbite.
That's the chairman of the Finance Committee in Parliament. Kojo Nkrumah is the ranking member of the Economy and Development Committee. He's joining the conversation this evening. Mr. Nkrumah, grateful for your time on the show. Your side of the House, in the majority side, have argued that if parliamentary convention is to hear independent institutions in a committee of a whole, why insist on an open session with regards to the one that you're about to hear of the Governor of the Bank of Ghana?
Thank you. Good evening to you and your listeners. First of all, I implore you not to allow yourself to be misled. Isaac Adongo is talking about Afenyo marking and 24-hour economy. Nobody's talking about that here. The questions are in my name, Kojo Nkrumah. I am the one who has asked 3 questions of the governor. It's not Afenyo marking. So I don't know why he would now try and say that Afenyo marking will go and ask some question or something. Why? Are they scared of him? These are not even his questions. These are my questions. I'm in the chamber. I'm about to ask my questions. 3 questions. Number 2, don't be misled by the majority leader that the convention is that these heads of independent constitutional bodies come to in-camera hearing. It is not true. Pick the standing orders. Effective 2nd January 2024. I have a copy in my hand here. Page 148, Order 2661. And I'm reading it to you. Proceedings of a committee shall be held in public, except otherwise determined by the committee. The norm is that committee meetings are public meetings. It is only when the committee has reason to believe that there is a reason for which the public should not be allowed to see the meeting, then that committee will make that case and take a decision not to. That is why, since this standing order was published in 2024 January, the governor of the central bank, since this new standing order came, when he appears at the committee of the whole, but that committee of the whole is a public meeting, and so the press is there. That is why when the EC chair appeared the last time, it was a committee of the whole, but the press was there. It is only when there are some extraneously sensitive matters that we agree on, then we're able to say that then the meeting will be held in camera. So I'll give you an example. When the District Assembly's Common Fund Administrator is coming for us to prepare the formula, and somebody is going to say that this district, there are not enough people in it, let's reduce their money, let's increase this one, because you don't want it to be seen out there that some MP has said something about a particular district, that meeting will be held in camera. If it's, let's say, like a national security matter or a presentation of security, part of it can be held in camera before it's brought out there. There is no truth that the heads of independent constitutional bodies, the convention is that they meet in camera. It's not true. I've just read you the provision. The norm, since this new standing orders came out, the norm is that the meetings are public meetings. It is only when there's a reason to keep it private that you keep it private. Now let me come to the specific. I asked 3 questions of the governor. The questions were published. The governor has sent written responses to Parliament. We understand that politically they are uncomfortable with the governor's answers, because they think it doesn't inure to their political benefit. So they don't want him to articulate the answers in the full glare of the public. We understand that. But for anybody to say that the rule is that the meeting should be in camera, it is only when we agree that we open it up. That is a palpable falsehood. The governor has responded. The responses have been put on the order paper. That meeting is supposed to be public. Now, remember that just before this meeting started, the Honorable Afenyo was asking a question of Sam George. And Mr. Speaker disallowed that question. And so he left the chamber together with minority members to come and address the press. You have published that press conference online. When he finished, the minority members came back into the chamber. I was in the chamber. They came back into the chamber to take their seat. That let us start this meeting. But before they could come back, Roxanne Nelson Dafia-Mekpo had cleared the gallery that the press should not cover the responses that the governor is about to give. And then they now try to say that this is a closed meeting. And that is where we objected. Mahama Ayariga himself on the floor read 2661 when we closed the doors. He read 2661. And we said, what is the basis on which you want to close this meeting to the public? What is the sensitive matter here? The questions here are not extraordinary questions. The governor has given answers which are not extraordinary answers. The only thing you're uncomfortable with is the politics that you don't want the governor to say on record before the country that the reason for which they are able to mobilize Forex to intervene on the market is because of the domestic gold purchase program which the NPP government introduced. And the governor gives the date as August 2024. This is the only thing they don't want the governor to say, for which reason they have denied the press an opportunity to cover. And now they want to say that Afenyo Market will talk about 24-hour. But if he talks about 24-hour economy or is he not a member of parliament? Does he not have the agencies to be able to speak to those? And if he's out of order, the speaker will rule him out of order. But that has even nothing to do with it, because these are not his questions. These are my questions. I'm asking my questions. So why are you denying the press an opportunity to cover these questions and these answers and the follow-up questions that will come? It is because they do not feel comfortable that the governor would not come and do politics. The central bank, you see, they are forcing the central bank to do politics. The central bank doesn't want to do politics. The last time when the central bank accounts were published, they were supposed to present it to Parliament. You know, they've still not presented it to Parliament. They went to give it to Ataisa and Lawyer Suhini and NDC party members who are not even members of Parliament to come and hold a press conference here in Parliament and tell Ghanaians that the loss was only 15 billion, when indeed the loss was 34 billion, just to come and deceive the Ghanaian people. And they want to do politics with the central bank. So now that the governor has come and is coming to answer, and they know he won't do politics, he will say the truth, speak the facts, give the details and the dates. They are not comfortable.
The Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga, in fact, said that the Bank of Ghana governor had actually prepared a press release to be given to the press right after those in-camera conversations you were supposed to have with him. So he has challenged your claim that indeed there is nothing that the Bank of Ghana governor had to hide.
Let me tell you why that is not true. The document he's referring to is not a new press release by the central bank. He hadn't read the document. The document he's referring to is the guidelines for market intermediation that the governor of the central bank released as a press release. He attached it to his answers to the question. Because my question was, what is the formula they are using? And in his answer to question number 630, he said that there is a foreign exchange operations framework which he has attached. That attachment is the press release. That attachment is not new. It's an old press release. Ask your newsroom, they will give you a copy. So again, it is not true. He's misleading you that he had a press statement that he was going to do. That's not true. But the governor himself is not shy to answer these questions. He's a professional. He won't come and lie. He won't come and do politics and propaganda. He has his integrity to protect. The point is that they are not comfortable with the truth that the governor is coming to tell. They want to keep it in hiding so that they can come and spin the politics and the propaganda around it. And in so doing, they are gradually collapsing the democratic institutions of the state, finding all ways and means to suppress anybody who says anything they don't like. Any opportunity that independent constitutional body should rise up and give answers, then they'll close the door so that they can come and do their politics. And when have you heard that the central bank accounts are out and they'll give it to a politician to come and do press conference before?
Kojo Nkrumah, hold on for me. Kofi Ako Nko is the Vice Chairman of the Economy and Development Committee. Welcome to the program. The question the minority is asking if there's Why should the Bank of Ghana governor answer MPs behind closed doors instead of in open parliament? Do I have you, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, so thank you very much for having me. And then let me extend my greetings to your listeners. And I didn't get a chance to listen to Kojo much because I was in the chamber. I was just prompted to join. But we must be frank with ourselves. First of all, we must Governor Siama and his team for the respect for Parliament. 2 years ago, we had a governor who would have never accepted an invitation even to appear in Parliament. We had a Ghana governor who wouldn't even come a petition in the minority group. Kojo and the minority must appreciate every effort. Kojo happens to be the ranking member of the Development and Economy Committee. And he, if he would be truthful, would tell you how many times the governor has honored our invitations to come out openly on every question that he's asked. Every question. The last time we met as a committee, we spent more than 4 hours. Every detail that was asked was given to Kojo and everybody that was available, because the Bank of Ghana answers to our committee. So the governor was in Parliament today, just to answer every question that needed to be asked. And Kojo knows that even before he comes, the answers to his questions has been advertised in the yellow, in the other paper. So I feel so bad when this governor is trying so hard to be transparent, to be accountable to everything, every unanswered question, everything that is every information that is needed. And we are refusing to comment them. When 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we had a governor who wouldn't even answer to a question like this. So I'm a bit confused. But I believe the governor is doing well.
Right. The main concern of the minority is that if you think he has nothing to hide, why don't you allow cameras in that meeting? That's their major concern.
Well, no, it is for the decision of the House. And that is why the majority leader was emphatic that it is for us to make those decisions. And if we had to decide, the majority would have their way. There's nothing to hide.
What went into that decision making for you to hold that event in camera?
Still come out. No, but I mean,
Can you hear me, sir?
Like I said, hello.
Yes.
When you come to Parliament, we have rules and procedure, and that is why in-house, the majority leader felt that whatever questions you needed to ask the questions. Because, the mandate of the Bank of Ghana, we know for sure, is to ensure that there is stability of the city, which has been done. So what other question? But as to whether cameras were to be allowed or not, wasn't the decision for the governor to make. It was for us to make as MPs. So you can't blame the Bank of Ghana for it.
You've also been accused by the minority that you just wanted to control the narrative. You know that the Bank of Ghana governor was not going to come and do politics over there, and in order for the majority to control the narrative, that is why you prevented the media from bringing their cameras there to cover it. Is that the case, that you wanted to control the narrative, the majority?
That's pardon my language, but that is ridiculous to say the least. But why would we do that? Like I said, whatever answers you needed has been printed in the other papers. So if we wanted to do politics, we could have done it. That is not the case. We believe that the sanctity of the Bank of Ghana must be protected. Because it is only this minority that keeps dragging in the Bank of Ghana, every of their statements, even all their press conferences, which will not occur well for us. Because every statement that is directed to the Bank of Ghana has consequences. And that is what we're trying to protect. Kojo knows from his heart that it is not the way to go. Because Governor Asiama from day one has been accountable to Parliament every time he's called upon. For the first time, even this committee on state interest, invited the Bank of Ghana and they appeared. It is unprecedented. It has never happened. That is it.
Okay.
So I'm at loss on events.
Right, Mr. Anoko, don't go yet. Kojo Oponen Nkrumah is still with me. He's the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee in Parliament. Kojo, you've been listening to your colleague on the Economy and Development Committee, who has vehemently distorted all the claims that you've made that they did that because they wanted to hide something.
Well, he has not been able to answer your questions that you asked him. First of all, he says that Governor Addison didn't come to Parliament and that this governor has cooperated, so why are we asking him more questions? That's a ridiculous argument. Governor Addison was taken to court on a matter of banking sector resolution, and somebody invited him to Parliament to come and answer the same question. And Parliament was advised that that matter was in court. In fact, even yesterday on the floor, when Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo talked about the $2 million SkyTrain matter, I drew the attention of the speaker that commentary was sub judice and should be struck out of the record. So if Governor Addison did not attend a particular hearing because the matter that he had been invited on was in court, I'm not sure that you can use that as a basis to say that, however, Governor Asiama has done well by coming and so we should be applauding him. In fact, if we are talking about praising Governor Asiama, I have been on record several times as to applauding his measure of even publishing decision notes. I'm not shy to do that. I have done it on public record. I'll do it every now and then. He admits that he didn't listen to my submissions, and I'll grant him that. Because as you have listened to my submissions, I have said that the governor will not come and lie. He will not come and spin things. He will come and give the facts there. So what is it that you are hiding? And the norm is that these meetings are public meetings. It is when you feel there's something sensitive for which reason it shouldn't be open to the public, then you persuade that we do that. This one, even before the meeting started, even before the committee of the whole was constituted, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo cleared the press from the gallery. Even before we could have a discussion to decide whether or not there's a sensitive matter here, he cleared them from the gallery. So when they closed the doors, Afenimaki asked Mr. Speaker that who gave the order to clear the gallery? Because we haven't discussed it. What is the basis? And Roxanne got up on his feet and said he ordered that the press should go. And we asked him, Kwawaranto, which power? Who gave you that power to do that? Because we haven't even discussed it. Secondly, if we discuss and you think there's a sensitive matter, raise it. So today, he's here before you. What is the sensitive matter that requires us to have this meeting in camera? The questions I have asked are not untoward questions. They are seeking factual responses. The central bank is a professional institution, one of the most professional institutions. It is they who are trying to politicize it. The governor and his team have provided very professional responses. They haven't lied. They haven't tried to twist anything. It is only that the majority side is uncomfortable with the hard truths that the governor is telling. That's why they want to close the doors. Beyond that, what's the problem?
Kojo Oponen Nkrumah, thank you very much. He's the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee. Kofi Ako-Noko is still with me. He's the vice chairman of the Economy and Development Committee in Parliament as well. Mr. Noko, your colleague on the Economy and Development Committee continues to dispute the claims you've been making, but there are concerns and worries that this could set a very dangerous precedent for other public officials to avoid parliamentary scrutiny in the eyes of the public. Is that a cause for concern for you?
Well, what should be a cause of concern is the minority when any of their members are called to account, when they go hail out to demonstrate and also to an extent even try to break the doors of those departments. That is what should be worrying. But I believe that, like I said, whether it could be in camera or not, it's for the decision for us to make. So I believe leadership, like leadership should sit and discuss that. But I believe that Governor Addison, Governor Asiama, anytime he's called upon, will come in account. And he's been doing that.
Okay.
There's no partisan politics about this whole thing. The problem is that the minority should take it easy when it comes to anything related to the back of Ghana. Like I said, it has consequences. My brother, this team, the team led by Governor Siama, have done so well with the stabilizing of the city. The Ghana city is doing so well. Inflation is down, has come down so much to 3.3, which we should celebrate.
Kofi Akonoko, thank you very much for your time this evening. He's the Vice Chairman of the Economy and Development Committee in Parliament. Earlier, we heard from Kojo Opon Nkrumah, who is the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee in Parliament. It's now time for Newsnight. Gemma has the headlines. Gemma, what's coming up?
So, Lands Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa talks tough as he vows to hunt down on financiers and kingpins fueling illegal mining.
Let me be clear. The era of impunity is over. Government will continue to pursue every individual, every financier, every criminal syndicate that profits from the destruction of our environment.
But anti-Galamsey campaigners are firing back, demanding government goes after its own if it's serious.
The president himself stated that some members of his own administration might be involved in illegal mining. Has any of them been arrested, prosecuted?
Also tonight, the opposition New Patriotic Party announced the constituency executive elections in selected constituencies and refers all outstanding electoral disputes to its Electoral Affairs Committee. We have details plus speak to the party on the development. Grief hangs heavy over the Dagbon Kingdom as it prepares for a historic farewell to Yana Abukari II.
This cannot be taken lightly because we are weeping. It is very hurtful, but Allah knows what is best for Dagbang. The king was a man who was a symbol. He was a beacon of equality.
This king was not just an ordinary king. He was a unifier. Unifier in a sense.
We are live in Yendi for the very latest in business.
Finance Minister Dr. Atuforson pushes for quarterly release of employment data.
And coming up on your say, Adam, what are you having for us?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Well, how far would you go to make someone's birthday special? Forget cakes and flowers? We tell you about the latest TikTok craze, where some Ghanaians are now paying influencers to compose personalized birthday songs. You can always join the conversation and share your thoughts on all our stories on X with the hashtag Newsnight or by text or voice note via WhatsApp on 055 1111 997 055 1111 997. Do keep it brief, straight to the point, and within 20 seconds.
My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
Mine is Gemma. Appiah. Now, Lands Minister Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa says the era of impunity is over for illegal mining. He is vowing to crack down on financiers and kingpins behind illegal mining after government busted 207 people in connection with Galamsey over the past 6 months. Taking his turn at Government Accountability Series in Accra, he said the government is intensifying its fight against the menace. He stressed that government will pursue every individual, financier and criminal syndicates destroying Ghana's forest and water bodies. He provided a breakdown on the 200 operations carried out by the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMS.
Sustain nationwide operational tempo against illegal mining across 6 endemic regions, namely Ashanti, Western North, Eastern, Bono, Ahiafor, and Central. A total of 200 operations were executed across 53 districts, recording an operational strike rate of over 84%. The Secretariat conducted 169 enforcement operations targeting illegal mining sites, forest reserve, river bodies, and concession encroachments. The combined output of these operations is summarized as follows: 207 suspects comprising 161 Ghanaians within the last 6 months, and 46 foreign nationals have all been apprehended. The suspects have been processed and handed over to the security agencies. Between January and June this year, 78 excavators have been seized and 90 excavators has been demobilized, roughly almost 170 of them.
The minister also pledged the government's commitment to sustaining the anti-Galamsey fight, insisting that no one involved in financing or facilitating illegal mining will be spared.
Let me be clear. The era of impunity is over. Government will continue to pursue every individual, every financier, every criminal syndicate that profits from the destruction of our environment. The law will be applied without fear nor favor. But this battle cannot be won by government alone. It is Ghana's fight. I call on all traditional leaders, religious leaders, miners, security officers, media houses, communities, citizens to stand on the side of our nation. As Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah once put it, the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart on these very issues I've talked about today. The forces that unite us are intrinsic. Today, those forces must unite us to reject greed, reject complicity, and defend our national heritage. History will judge our generation by how we responded to this defining challenge.
He also announced the Cabinet's decision to revoke Executive Instrument 144 as amended by EI 234, restoring the Achimota Forest to its original state as a forest reserve.
I'm happy to announce a historic Cabinet decision taken on the 24th of June 2026 to revoke Executive Instrument EI 144 as amended by EI 234, effectively ensuring that the Achimota Forest retains its original status as a forest reserve and providing ecological safety zone. This is the only last man standing forest cover in Accra, and President Mahama is determined to protect it at all costs.
A chief executive of Chamber of Mines and anti-illegal mining campaigner Kenneth says, though the revocation of the EI sends strong signal of government's commitment, the states must go beyond arrest and prosecute those arrested.
You know, I remember that the only prosecution that is currently going on is the one about Contamine, and it took this minister some effort to support what we had done, our petitions that we had done. But the thing about it is that we have all of these people arrested, but how many campaigns are involved in that? How many of the people who really are the people who we know are fueling this are being arrested? Why is it that you know the story that multimedia you did about DCs, MCs who were going to the theater of this crime and were going to collect permits from them. Chamfanda have been prescribed by the government. People were collecting permits from it. But those people were only told that they were going to be retrained. Okay. We don't even know what has happened to the retraining. What has happened to Professor Frimpong Martin's list of people who were involved in the illegality? What has happened to the Attorney General's call for Ahiafor to investigate some particular people? Right. You know, His Excellency himself had mentioned to us that he knew that there are some people in his government who were involved in it. What is happening to all of those? So it is important that beyond the efforts being made by the Minister for Land, we need to also ensure that other people who have to play roles also play their roles. And I'm also hoping that the medium-tier mining that has been introduced would bring some level of control also into it.
You heard Kenneth Akshibe, he's an anti-illegal mining campaigner. Ula Sewa is co-coordinator, eco-conscious citizen. She joins us via Zoom now. Welcome to News 9. Now, we earlier heard from the Land Minister. He's vowing to crack down on financiers and kingpins behind illegal mining, and also told us about government's efforts in arresting some 200 people in connection with Galamsey over the past 6 months. This should come off as the government which is working to fight illegal mining, not so.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me. First of all, let me say that we commend the government for revoking EI 144. Long overdue. We are pleased about that. Regarding the number of arrests, who are these persons who are being arrested? It's good to arrest everybody involved in illegal mining. But it's better still to arrest those who are behind it, those who are financing it. Excavators are very expensive. Kwame cannot afford it. So those who are actually bringing in the excavators purposely to destroy our forest reserves in the quest for gold, why are they not being arrested and prosecuted? Apart from Wontumi, who is being prosecuted, Chairman Wontumi, who is being prosecuted, who else? Which other high flyer is being prosecuted? So it's not enough to arrest and prosecute the rank and file. We need those who are actually financing this poisoning of Ghanaians to be held accountable. And this is what we are waiting to see. I heard my brother Ken talking about those named in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, what has happened to them. But even under this current administration, the president himself has said he would not be surprised if persons close to the administration are also involved. There have been rumors about MCEs, DCEs, ministers, and so on and so forth who are involved. What is happening? Why are they not being investigated and if need be arrested and prosecuted? Until this is done, it doesn't look like those who are actually behind this whole mayhem are being dealt with.
But how easily do you think that it would be in arresting those behind the illegal mining? You talk about the kingpins and financiers. These are people who are well resourced and can fight the government all the way through, and they have the resources to provide protection to ensure that the work is not known. So how easily is it going to be for the government?
It will be as easy as we want it to be. A lot of them have been already named on social media. Civic, I'm so confused this evening. Civil society organizations have written to government, to parliament, naming some of these people. You can't tell me that they are better resourced than the whole Ghana Armed Forces. I mean, if we want to deal with them, it's not difficult at all. The only thing that is needed is the political will to decide that everybody who is involved in poisoning Ghanaians, let's be very clear, there's ecocide going on. We're being poisoned. Water is life. Our water is being poisoned. Our food is being poisoned. Our forest reserve decimated. So if we are saying that we can't deal with these persons, that they are stronger than the whole of Ghana, then I think we might as well pack up and stop this fight.
I believe that all that is required is the will. You think the government does not have the political will to arrest these kingpins and financiers you talk about?
What I'm saying is that some of these persons have been named. It shouldn't be difficult to investigate.
But
when it came to the activists, for example,
why do you think government is not arresting them? Because you've named them. You said some CSOs have written and named them. Why do you think government is finding it difficult to arrest and prosecute them, as you say?
Well, the best person to answer the question is government. All we can say is that we're right behind government, and if they are prepared to do what is needed, because you see, we are all being poisoned. We're all being poisoned, and this has to stop, and it can easily be stopped. You would recall that whilst in opposition, certain members of the current administration were saying that if the political will were there, that the president was commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he could end this mayhem. Sometimes just 4 days, 4 months, So right now, what one is waiting for is the political will to do just that. It can be done. It's not difficult at all. All we need is the will to do that. And for us all to understand that these are people who are committing murder, because what they are doing is leading to the poisoning of Ghanaians. People are developing kidney disease. People are, children are being born deformed. They are being stillborn births. I mean, it's not a joke. It's not a joke, and we need to deal with this robustly before we are all destroyed. I keep on saying that we're on the verge of an ecological catastrophe. The clock is ticking. It's not enough to arrest the underlings. We must arrest those who are actually behind this whole evil machinery that is taking place.
We are grateful for your time. Coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizen, Awula Sewa.
Let's talk politics this evening, because the opposition New Patriotic Party has, with immediate effect, announced the purported constituency executive elections conducted over the weekend in selected constituencies, citing what it describes as a flagrant disregard for party directives and the rules and regulations governing the 2026 constituency executive elections. The decision was taken by the party's National Steering Committee at a meeting held today to review the conduct of the nationwide elections and address concerns arising from the process. A statement jointly signed by the National Chairman and General Secretary, Justin Frimpong, says the affected elections cannot stand because they were conducted in violation of the party's laid down procedures. Let's now speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the party, Haruna Mohammed, for more on this development. Mr. Mohammed, welcome to the program. Which constituencies have been affected by this directive, first of all? Hello, Haruna Mohammed, do I have you?
Yes, you have me.
Okay. I want to find out which constituencies have been affected by this directive.
These directives affects many constituencies, and I would give you the background and come to land on the specific issues. A day before the elections for the constituencies, we issued a statement to all regional executive committees and constituency executive committees to make sure that the conduct of the elections are in line with the party's directives and the guidelines that have been given. In areas that we have competent cost of jurisdictions, issuing injunctions which has been properly served on the party should be adhered to so that they don't proceed to have elections. And the steering committee meeting also was held and giving directive to certain constituencies not to proceed to conduct their elections. So when the elections were completed, we came out to give clear indications of the number of constituencies that has conducted elections and which has to be reviewed by the National Steering Committee. Indeed, we indicated that about 245 constituencies conducted their elections successfully out of the 276. However, 23 constituencies were put on hold for various reasons based on certain disputes that had arisen before the conduct of the elections. Then there were 4 constituencies that were supposed to conduct elections on a Saturday or the Sunday, but we had disputes in terms of challenges that came in. They had to stop. These constituencies are Ningo Prampram, Echumampunia, Obuasi West, and Trobo constituency. And these 4 constituencies aside, there were other 4 constituencies that conducted elections that needed to be reviewed by the National Steering Committee. So today, those particular constituencies which affected Efije Setre East, Adansa Sukwa, Pantma, and Asante Akim Central was brought to the attention of the National Steering Committee. The National Steering Committee, upon deliberations, nullified the conduct of those particular elections because of the directives of the party, which was not adhered to, and other directives that had come in either by court injunctions or any other dispute or challenges.
Right. And what happens to the constituencies that have not been listed but are also facing disputes or complaints arising from the elections?
Yes. So the other ones that is not affected by this particular issue, we have gone ahead to explain. 4 constituencies were to be reviewed by the steering committee. The steering committee reviewed the 4 and nullified 3 of the 4 and referred 1, which is Asante Akim Central, to the party's Electoral Affairs Committee of National Council to look at it and make recommendations to the National Steering Committee or the National Party. Again, the party has also referred the rest of the other constituencies, the 4 constituencies that had challenges prior to the conduct of the elections on Saturday, and also the 23 constituencies that also had dispute and challenges by way of court injunctions and all technical issues that affected the conduct of those elections, to also appear before the Electoral Affairs Committee and recommendations to be given to the National Party for direction. So these are how we have dealt with those particular matters, and we need the Electoral Affairs Committee, which is chaired by Obiamwa, to look at these issues and advise the party. If you pick out some of the constituencies, Bumpurgu, for example, the National Council had already directed, so the current executives whose tenures has expired was extended to 31st December. If you look at Yendi, same had applied. Okay. And if you look at Aguna West, it was also applied. These 3 constituencies, the extensions were done. Then the National Council gave the steering committee the powers to extend subsequent ones, because the constituency cannot be there without executive functioning. So if the tenure of office ended like it has ended for those particular constituencies, then the steering committee has been given the power to do an extension for them and then report back to the National Council as and when there is meeting.
Right. Haruna Mohammed, thank you very much. Is the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition NPP. That brings us to business. George is here with the latest. George, what do you have?
Well, coming up, Finance Minister Dr. Attoforson pushes for quarterly release of employment data to help government guide its policy measures. And Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Kofi Amabua reveals any mining lease review be guided by Ghana's interest. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. Sinter's Tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Chaco. Let's now settle for the details. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Attoforson is pushing for quarterly release of employment data in the country. The minister says this should come in addition to the regular release of GDP estimate and inflation. Attoforson maintained that this release is critical in helping government measure the impact of its policy on job creation. The minister disclosed this at an official handing over program of its former Ministry of Finance building to the Ghana Statistical Service.
I want to see the day that government statistician, aside announcing the GDP and inflation numbers every quarter, be able to announce the employment numbers so that I will be assessed by an independent person, independent institution of state, whether the decisions we take are yielding the results that we need. Because growth should not always, it shouldn't be jobless. Growth must create jobs. And I want to be assessed on that line. So government statistician, I want you to develop a methodology together as an institution to present to us for funding so that beginning 2027 ending or early 2028, you will begin to announce quarterly or half-yearly jobs numbers.
And that is Finance Minister Dr. Attoforson. Now, Land and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Kofi Amabua has stated that any mining lease review will be guided by Ghana's paramount interest. Now, this is coming at a time where there have been rumors that the government has already decided on the next line of action on these leases that would expire come next year. But speaking at the Government Accountability Series, the minister noted that the state has not taken any entrenched position on these issues.
Specific issue of Goldfields in Daman was very new. Company that was leaving and said that they have finished operation, laid on workers, and everything is gone for almost the last 3 years. That was the evidence. On that specific issue, when it became clear that if indeed this was Goldfield's position on Daman, then of course there's an opportunity for us to, in federal government's objective on empowering Ghanaians, to take that decision we took. But see, that's not government policy to basically cancel every lease at the end of it. We will review every lease on a case-by-case basis and make the right decisions that is in the interest of the people of Ghana.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Kofi Amabua. Now, ZPA has given the firm assurance that it is committed to working with the Bank of Ghana and other stakeholders to ensure orderly resolution of issues identified and the institution. Now, this was contained in a statement issued by this institution earlier today. There is more in this report.
The notice issued this afternoon stated that its engagement with the Bank of Ghana is expected to ensure an orderly, transparent, and responsible approach to addressing all the issues arising from the revocation of its license. ZP also stated that it remains committed to supporting all stakeholders throughout the process while recognizing the concerns that the regulatory action may have caused, adding that it sincerely appreciates their patience. The company further maintained in the statement that it appreciates the continued cooperation of its customers, employees, agents, partners, and the general public. ZPay also assures stakeholders that the company remains committed to acting responsibly, maintaining open and transparent communication, and working closely with all the relevant parties throughout the process.
And that is the Business Desk report. The Bank of Ghana says it is working to modernize the regulatory framework to ensure fairness in the country's financial and tech payment ecosystem. This will be done through the establishment of a digital banking framework with guidelines to support its implementation. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiema, disclosed this to stakeholders at the Financial Architecture Summit organized by the National Banking College.
The second priority is modernizing the regulatory framework, our own regulatory framework. Colleagues, infrastructure alone is not enough. As I've said, As new providers and business models emerge, the regulatory framework has to provide both clarity and appropriate safeguards. The objective is not to prescribe every future business model, but to establish clear principles on accountability, consumer protection, market integrity, and risk.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Now, Joy Business and the Super Morning Show are set to host a high-level roundtable on the country's poultry industry tomorrow. The program will basically look at, can Ghana feed itself, the future beyond Ghana, that is beyond the Nkukon program. The program, which starts at 9:30 a.m., will bring together experts in the industry and some players to try and get some answers to these issues. And Consolidated Bank Ghana says it is supporting disaster response and strengthening partnership with emergency agencies is remained central to its operations. The bank said this when it donated items to the National Disaster Management Organization. Dr. Naomi Kweti is the managing director of Consolidated Bank Ghana.
When we listen to the Director General, he says that disaster is not a one-off thing. It's better to prevent than to wait for the issue to come and then start working around it. So from today, I believe that CBG will be in close contact with the institution or the organization to see how best we can support the process. Before we decided on the things to donate, we engaged NADMO and they gave us a list. So today we have brought things like rice, sugar, student mattresses, mosquito nets, mosquito sprays, blankets, and a whole lot. The reason is simple. Let's see how best we can meet the flood victims to a point. My belief is that we are all Ghanaians, so a little from each person will make the whole.
Dr. Naomi Walali Kwete is the managing director of Consolidated Bank Ghana. And that's all for Business on Newsnight.
Well, thank you very much, George. A quick reminder that you can send your thoughts to our WhatsApp platform 055 11 11 997. A bit later, Edem will be here to share your thoughts with the rest of the world, the stories that we've been sharing with you so far. What do you make of them? I can't wait for your say. It's about birthdays, and I know that Gemma is really, I don't know. Women in general really love birthdays, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, we'll get to that. We'll get to that shortly. But a program meant to fix the damage of Galamsey is now fueling it. A Joy News investigation has uncovered how the Minerals Development Fund's land restoration project in the Ashanti region has become a vehicle for illegal mining. The fund runs multiple restoration sites across Adanse North, Adanse South, Bosomefreho, and Ahiafor Southeast. But our probe reveals the scheme is being abused. Ohiminteria reports.
Signposts have been erected at the entrances of the mining sites with the inscription Minerals Development Fund Land Restoration Project. These sites are manned by heavily armed security personnel dressed in military camouflage. Several of these mining sites come with a scannable barcode. It has the Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and the Minerals Development Fund as implementing agencies.
Let's scan the barcode and see what we are likely to get. Okay, so I have scanned it. Immediately I scanned, I found this information.
But the Forestry Commission has denied their involvement in the restoration projects. Officials say the contractors did not possess a forestry entry permit, the basic requirement that allows their presence in the forest. This is Omania Mankwa, the Mankranso District Forestry Manager. He led the arrest of 6 workers of Sodada Global Limited, one of the contractors of the restoration project in the Tinte Bepo Forest on Friday, July 10 at Nyamebechere, near Abeswa.
Even though the people are not having the permit, but they've started building up the structure outside the forest reserve. The last time a team went there, we realized they were even having armed or security officers with wearing uniform, equally like the ones the military or the forestry response team, rapid response team are using. So we were even happy that then they are going to help us to protect the area. Until recently that we had information that they are doing otherwise. Otherwise means there's an illegal activity going on there.
Mr. Mankwa was, however, shocked to see a new mining pit has been opened by the men tasked to restore degraded mined areas and promised to help protect the forest.
The area has been a Gamsi prune area that from time to time when we go there, drive the people, we burn their things. So somebody coming to help you to build camp for security men to stay there to protect the area, you will be happy. And from the initial stage, what we saw was an indication that they are going to do a good job. Not knowing they have a different intention. Because, for instance, they have started building the camp. It's right there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They were there with armed security men. So you can see that they are coming to do something good for you. And the very day that we went there to drive them out from the place, they were filling the existing pits that we have already burned machines and everything. So you'll be happy. Everybody will be happy that, at least the people are going to help us. Not knowing there's a different motive behind what they are doing.
The Ashanti Regional Security Liaison Officer, Captain Retired Kwame Jabari, led a team of military men to seize excavators impounded by the Forestry Commission on Saturday.
Moving on, Kingdom pauses. Yendi is draped in sorrow on the eve of the third day Islamic prayers for the late overlord of Dagbon, Yana Abukari II. At the Bewa Palace, preparations are underway for tomorrow's solemn gathering. Traditional leaders, residents, and dignitaries from across Ghana are expected to converge to pray for the repose of the late king's soul. The impact runs deep. All public and private schools in the Yendi municipality remain shut following a Ghana Education Service directive as the area observes the mourning period. For many, this isn't just the death of a king. Residents speak of Yana Abukari II as the architect of Dagbon's peace, a unifier whose passing has left a wound the kingdom says cannot be taken lightly.
He has left a legacy that will take centuries before we can get a person of caliber. Indeed, he has united the Dagbon, the North, and the entire Ghana. He has left a legacy that I'm sure it will be difficult for any other person to make an impact on of his caliber.
This cannot be taken lightly because we are weeping. It is very hurtful, but Allah knows what is best for Dagbon. The king was a man who was a symbol. He was a beacon of equality, a beacon of unity.
This king was not just an ordinary king. He was a unifier. Unifier in a sense that, as you know, Dagbon, the two lions under one great-grandfather, gave birth to two sons, and that is Abdullah and Andane. Abdullah being Abudu and Andane family. So he made sure that he was distributing the titles equally as far as installation or enskinment are concerned. Traditionally, that's what he was doing. From where what happens last, we don't pray we experience such again. But what this past king did by the installation and enskinment of chiefs to the various towns, it was a symbol that he meant to build the kingdom in a long run.
Away from that, the Central Regional NDC chairman, Richard Asiedu, has withdrawn his 10 million cedis defamation suit against Kaswa-based Obatampa Radio, who has also rendered a public apology to the Ghana Journalists Association over the June 25th incident when the station was allegedly disrupted and taken off air mid-program. The move follows a 7-day ultimatum from the GJA, which condemned the incident as an attack on media freedom. At a press conference earlier, Mr. Asiedu said he has learned his lessons and remains committed to respecting press freedom.
I think we have to cut this issue short by rendering an unqualified apology to that of the GJ in the media space. In fact, my mission for going to Obatampa was never to disrupt their program because that is unethical and unconstitutional. It was just to engage management as to how we can judge all and move ahead. But the absence of management meeting has turned chaotic and brought about some misunderstanding. As human nature, it bound to happen. And so therefore, I stand in as a leader of the region and apologize to Batampa. In so doing, I also want to plead with media houses, not in Central Region alone, but in the whole country, to practice what I call responsible journalism. President, I know how rural FM stations and their financial operations are, and because I'm a victim, so I know it. Going to court to take 10 million Ghana cedis for Batampa means I want to collapse the station. And so I'm heeding to the demand or the plea from the Ghana Journalists Association that I am withdrawing that suit immediately. And from today, I'll take these lessons to become or champion activities of press in this country.
My colleague Martha Sewabwache was at that particular press conference and is joining us in the studio with more. Martha, what was the GJA's response to this?
All right, the GJA president, that's Albert Zumfor, says leaders must accept responsibility when their actions or inactions create challenges. He noted that the association's priority remains protecting the safety of journalists and defending press freedom.
A leader is not someone who ran away from his actions and inactions. Those are weak leaders. It doesn't make you strong. If you're a leader and you think that can hit your chest, when you even go wrong, you want to stand by, you don't want to accept that you're wrong. You can defend even the indefendable. Something which is indefensible. For a leader, you think you can defend what is indefensible. The chairman has shown leadership and has come in very timely to prevent the next action that we're going to take. And for me, as we are all commending, we are all clapping for him and all that, this makes him a dynamic chairman. So with this, we are still within our mandate and discharging our constitutional mandate dutifully. I will continue to do that without fear or favor. And
that's the president of the Ghana Journalists Association. Martha is still with us in the studio. What is the current state of the police investigation into the alleged attack on Obatampa Radio?
So the police are still investigating the alleged attack on Obatampa Radio, and Mr. Richard Osiedu says he's ready to support the process and will appear before the police whenever he's called.
Through our investigation, we are going to buy some of them again. Those who work over the night before. These people, they are the day people. So we are inviting the day people too. They are present before the lady deliver. They are the people who take the lady from the lady. No, even as I'm talking to you, they are coming to my office. The director is bringing them. Yeah, so, you know, it's a institution, so you have to pass through the proper channel. So you invited the director, he's bringing them. 2 ladies and then one man. The woman has gone through a lot of trauma. As I'm talking to you, still on admission because they have operated there. So every morning I go there personally to counsel her in my way, psychologically. Give her the confidence. I'm working through the disease to get the baby back for her. So always when she sees me, she starts to laugh. So I think I'm doing best because she's not ready to see any nurse. But when I go around, she's happy to see me because of the way I handle her.
I know my koliwa. 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 I know my koliwa.
It's now time for your say, and Edem Kojo is in the studio. Edem, what are people saying?
Yeah, so Kenneth, so people are speaking, sending a lot of things in response to our various stories today. Nana from Spintex says, where was Afenyo marking when Ken Oforiatta refused to come to Parliament to answer questions during his tenure? Abi National War says, this MPP pan, how many times did their governor come to Parliament? When they were in power, they should give us a break. Nana Kumia Boatin in Ablekuma Central says this government's attempt to fight Galamsey is simply a charade. We've told them some national executives of the NDC are neck deep in the destruction of our lands and river bodies, but they are prosecuting Buntumi. Isn't that ironical? Now, Miracle Yao in Owusu Krum says, can someone please tell the lands minister that we are tired of speeches? They will not win the fight with press conference. They should go beyond the speeches and take real action. EMK in Azanzi says, the talk and warning on Galamsey are becoming too much. Mr. Minister, it's time for action. Oh, arrest the people and prosecute them. La. AB Nanaya from UK says the lands minister should give us a break and stop the settings. Now everyone is quiet about Galamsey and it's a shame. Prince Henry in Koforidua says the NPP have demonstrated that they don't have the interests of the people of Ghana at heart and their selfish interests. So we should serve diligently and purposefully as politicians because the future is always pregnant. And this last one from Musa Abatwa in Asawasi says this government deserves commendation for its performance, especially in the mining sector. So these are some very interesting comments. We also have one voice note from a good friend in Agbozome. Let's listen to him.
It's your brother Ras Humility inside Agbozuma Kleko in the Volta region of Ghana. I am very happy like how John Mahama and the NDC government is fighting Galamsey. Kudos to them. As for me, I want them to fight it well so that our river and stream shall be clean so that we shall not get any diseases.
Okay, yeah, so that's done from Agbozome, right? Yes, but beyond this, I have a very interesting question. This one I'll push it to Gemma. Gemma, what is it with should I say ladies and birthdays?
Why are you talking about it in terms of gender?
Okay,
birthday is birthday.
Okay, so do you love birthdays, Gemma?
Yes, I do.
Gemma,
that's the day I came to the world, right?
Yes. Okay. So have you seen what's the best thing someone has done for you on your birthday? The most thoughtful thing you've received on your birthday.
I can't say that all day.
Okay. Well, there's a new trend. Okay. And then there's a guy called Kali Kali on TikTok. All you have to do is to reach out to him, pay some few coins, and then he will compose a personalized birthday song for you.
Right.
So that is a trend now.
Hey,
and
really?
now, yes. It's actually big on TikTok. If you want to show you love someone, that is the ish now when it comes to doing that. And in fact, I tried reaching out to Kali Kali because he's become very popular. In fact, there are rumors that he charges a whooping 900 Ghana cedi for a 20 seconds.
Oh, 900 in a whooping. I thought you were going to say
900 cedis for a 20 second
NSS song.
I've forgotten.
Oh, you finished NSS 15 years
25 years.
Yes, so you see, NSS now is 715. Meaning you have to go and take quick loan in addition.
I see.
Yeah, so that is how much people say he's charging. Well, I spoke to him. He decided not to come on record, but he says his market, there's no Ghana for no. We don't like pay. So he has international guys.
So he's being paid in dollars and pounds?
Well, he's being paid 900 cedis. As to whether they send it, we can't tell. But yes, since that's a new trend, I want to use the opportunity to wish everybody who's celebrating their birthday in July a happy birthday. Gemma, I know you have one about a week ago.
Sunday. My mom celebrated her birthday on Sunday.
Yes,
my brother yesterday as well.
Okay, yes, we have many in the newsroom. And I also have one special birthday to Auntie Boko, whose birthday is on Monday.
Yes,
okay,
pay for a song.
Well, so to all our birthday celebrants, we have this special one for you. I'm out of here.
Where are my July bonds? My handsome king, my pretty princess. Let me the day them born. You are +1 today. Today is your birthday. You are +1 today. Today be the day them born. We go celebrate, jubilate, pop champagne, eat more cake, celebrate, jubilate, pop champagne, eat more cake. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, not a bad song at all. I love it. But I certainly wouldn't pay 900 cedis for this.
Okay. I thought you said it's not whooping.
No. But I wouldn't pay for this. But it's a nice song. It's a very, very nice song.
Nice. Can it be nice? Let's do it one more time.
Yeah.
One more time.
See the day that.
Where are my July bonds? My handsome king, my pretty princess.
Unfortunately, we have to go. This has been News Tonight. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma Appiah.
The sports team is standing by with a live commentary of the second semi-final of this World Cup.